Morning, everyone. Boker Tov. So we are in Siman Mem Aleph in the Shem Shema again, and here the question posed to him by a rabbi named Rabbi Reuven Ochana asks Rabbi Shalom Asas, how does one accept upon himself Shabbat? Does he need to say, like, let's say, write a certain part of Tefillah? Do I need to say to myself, I'm accepting upon myself Shabbat? How does it work when it comes to when one prays Shabbat at the regular time, Shkia, and what happens when you pray early, like we do here in the summertime? So he goes as follows. When it talks about the regular Shabbat, late Shabbat, so when a lady lights her candles, which is going to be, 18 minutes before Shabbat, that is the 18 minutes as we know it. When a lady lights her candles there, then at that moment, when it's before Shkia, then that is when she's Mekabel Shabbat, and she doesn't have to say anything, but at that moment, she stops working, stops doing anything, and that is the automatic Kabbalat Shabbat. Now, the husband is at shul, so what happens at shul when she's lighting at home and he's at shul? So what's going on there? So it's usually parallel, but when it's a Shabbat that it's before, but that Shkia time, let's say winter time, we usually are praying and saying Mizmor Shila Shabbat and Barechu after Shkia. Now she lit already 15-20 minutes before Shkia. So it's basically, for sure, once Shkia hits, it's already Shabbat. But what do we have to do before that to get to Mekabel Shabbat? Now, 1 second. No. Because there's another thing here, which is called the mitzvah of Tosefet Shabbat. There's a mitzvah that we're supposed to add on from the weekday onto Shabbat. Now, how much time does that need to be? Even if it's just 10 minutes before sunset, or 10 minutes before sunset, and you are already accepting upon yourself Shabbat, you already accomplished that mitzvah of Kabbalat Shabbat, Tosefet Shabbat. So as follows: when we say Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat, there's a discussion if it's Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat. But certainly, all opinions agree. Once you say Barechu of Arvit, then you've already accepted upon yourself Shabbat, and many opinions say already at the Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat. Ashkenazim, he says that they already hold from Mizmor LeDavid Havul Hashem B'nei Elim that at that point already is Mekabel Shabbat. We're a little bit later again with Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat, and for sure when one says the Barechu. But one doesn't have to say, I'm Mekabel on myself Shabbat. He doesn't have to say that. But if the Barechu or the Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat is done before Shkia, 10 minutes at least before Shkia, you've already accomplished that. Or if you said in a regular Shabbat, a winter Shabbat, where you're doing Barechu and you're doing Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat afterwards, once you're in shul and your wife already lit 20 minutes before Shkia, and you're here, you're not doing Melacha, you've already showed you're accepting upon yourself Shabbat at that time of 10 minutes before Shabbat, so you're already good. You're already good with that. You're showing, the main things that you're showing that you're not doing Melacha on Shabbat. Now, you do Mincha, right? You do Mincha, and we're doing Mincha. What? No, you're doing Mincha all the way up to, a little bit before. No, you're not Mekabel Shabbat when you do Mincha. It's after Mincha, then it kind of automatically clicks in when it's a winter Shabbat. Yes, and then you can't do Melacha. Now, when it comes to a early Shabbat, just like we do here in the cities of Meknes, like we did in the city of Meknes in Morocco. So there, it has to do with the Mizmor Shili Yom Shabbat or Barechu. Once you've done that, then you're already Mekabel on yourself Shabbat. And if a lady is lighting, which she's supposed to, reflecting on her husband that goes to early Shabbat, so she's supposed to light candles and basically time it that she's lighting at the same time that he's Mekabel Shabbat, or at least is, of course, after Plaga Mincha, because earlier than that she cannot light. But she could, because it's so early, she could do a lighting al tanai. So she lights the candles, and she says, but I'm still not Mekabel on myself Shabbat. I'm lighting the candles, but I'm not Mekabel on myself Shabbat. And some people do this if, let's say, they're invited somewhere for Shabbat, and, it's, I'll leave my car over there. And so what they do is you're allowed to light candles and say, I'm not Mekabel Shabbat yet, and then she could go into her car, drive, it's still before Shabbat, drive to wherever she needs to go to. Now mekabel myself Shabbat, and then she walks home afterwards, etc. Make sure to leave the candles on enough that when she gets home the candles are still on. But that is something that's able to be done, especially in a early Shabbat. In a regular Shabbat, it gets a little bit tricky because you don't want to get within the 18 minutes before sunset. With a bracha as well. But tonight, still with a bracha. Still with a bracha. Yes, yeah. Okay, that's that for mekabel on ourselves Shabbat. Mincha. The earliest time one can light is plaga mincha. That's where we have a little bit of issues for some situations where. So this Friday night, tomorrow we're going to start 6:45, not 6:30, because plaga mincha is a little bit out of reach, a little bit later, and I think it's around like 7:10. So that means, we're all here beforehand, and our wives are lighting for us. So let's say someone's single. He doesn't have a wife lighting, he has to light himself. He lives in himself by himself in his house. So if he comes here early, you can't light that early. So you would have to, light after plaga mincha. Figure out his mincha, figure out his ravi. So that is that. Mincha tonight at 6:55. Sorry, no shiur tonight. Bezrat Hashem, we'll come back soon. Time to Eliyahu. Kol Shana Halachot.